Absolutely.
So do I. And I tell people this whenever I see it, and I hope you don't think I'm being creepy. You look like you're doing better. There's a difference in you when I just look at you at the podium and in your face and in everything about you. You're lighter, your eyes are smiling. I don't think I've ever seen that. It seems to me like something's moving in the right direction and pulling you along with it. Oh my God, hang on to that. Help other people help you to identify what that is, because I can't do it. I went to law school. I didn't get a degree in social work. I didn't get a degree in substance abuse. But there are a lot of people around you who know that stuff. It's nice to see. So tell me what your plans are for the weekend. What's going on?
Just tonight going to a meeting, to meet with Laura, tomorrow, I am meeting with yoga and recovery, do some social media stuff. Go to women's meeting, and probably do that.
And you're actually kind of looking forward to it. Because you're doing better, I'm going to lift your driving restriction. You've earned it. You've shown us with your actions instead of just telling us with your mouth that you're moving in the right direction. So good work. Keep it up. I'll see you back here in 2 weeks. That will be on February the 3rd. Sean. Good morning. So you've been sitting around for 14 days thinking, what's he going to ask me?
Or yes,
Okay. What did you think I was going to ask you?
just how I'm doing, how my first 2 weeks kind of been.
Oh, that's a dumb question. I would never ask that. So how you doing? How your first 2 weeks been?
Really good. Honestly, this is the most uncomfortable I've been in a very long time, which is a good thing. I know that change has been hurt.
So what's uncomfortable?
Reaching out to people, asking for help, people that's something I've always had difficulty doing.
Yeah, and it sounds so easy, and it's really so difficult. And we have you do a lot of stuff. How you getting that done? It's been 14 days and you're compliant.
Reaching
What?
out, very supportive,
You have to find everything divisible by 3.
but also asking for rides, reaching out to group members, doing what Jen says, but also making the same changes moving through.
Right, and as time moves on, like in the immediate future, we hope to see less and less and less reliance on your family members, because after all, they're not the ones in sobriety court, you are. And more reliance on other people in the program, whether it's through sobriety court or just through the local AA or however you're meeting other supports, to be the ones that give you rides when you need rides, go sit and have coffee with you when you need that. Because the more time you spend around other people, the more this is all going to make sense. Because after 14 days, I don't expect any of it to make sense. I don't even expect that if I put a lie detector test on you and asked you, do you really want to be here? I wouldn't expect you to pass that test by going, oh, yes, Judge, I really want to be here. We all know why you're here. It's how it's almost the same for everybody. It's how it starts. You're here because it's a much better alternative than going to jail. I'm fine with that, at the beginning. And then I think what you'll learn is that sobriety becomes a much better alternative to the way you were living your life before. And I don't expect you to see that today. But I do hope it starts to sink in as, you start waking up in the morning without the hangover. You start not having to lie to everybody about everything. Find maybe even with fines and costs and everything, you got a little more money in your pocket. You find that maybe some of the goals that you put aside and just decided that weren't reachable are back in play again. And all of these things come about through recovery. But at the beginning, all I want you to do is what you're told. Don't ask, don't wonder about it. Why are they making me do this? Just shut up and do it. Because everything we ask you to do actually has a purpose for recovery. We're not making you do stuff just so we can catch you not doing it. I promise you. We're asking you to do stuff because it helps build the foundation that you're going to need. So far, so good. Keep it up. I'll see you back here in 2 weeks. But before you leave today, I want you to check in with Ian, who is the gentleman over here with the beard, because we're going to give you one more thing to do, and that is to start seeing a recovery support specialist on a regular basis, and he'll explain to you how that all works. See you in 2 weeks. Justin. Morning. 7 months sober today. Glad to hear it. The last thing in the world you want is to be standing up there and having people clapping over you, right?
I'm not one
Yeah. But is there some sense of accomplishment or pride or
not so much in the 7 months as much as what I've done over the last 7 months compared to the time that I had.
okay? So what's the difference?
I wasn't
So,
actively
A number
Any specifics you can give me of what you've been doing in the last 7 months before you just
working steps.
yeah. And the thing is, when you're resistant to recovery, which you obviously were before, or at least you weren't even ambivalent about it. You wanted no part of it. You wanted to stay out of jail. You wanted to keep in the judge's good graces on your other probation and all of that. So many other things in life. When you really don't like something, and when you're not feeling good about yourself, it's really good to sit on the outside of something and make fun of other people and to look at the steps and go, oh, God, what a bunch of losers. I cannot believe they're holding hands and saying the Lord's Prayer. But if that's what I got to do to get someone to sign my sheets, I'll do it. I can't believe they're talking about this higher power crap. Let's do that. I can't believe they're doing it, but if that's what it takes to get me through, I'll do it. Rigorous honesty, I'll be brutally honest. It's stupid. But when you start to really work on yourself and you start to look at the reality of 12 step, it's like some of this actually makes sense. Some of this needs to be in place for me to get to the next level. You're not the only one who has noticed that difference in you. I don't want to give you the big head or anything, but people who are working on your recovery with you, who worked with you before, also notice the difference in what you're doing and how you're handling it and how you're accepting now what you wouldn't accept before. And that's the best barometer you got. So to keep that going, keep it going. I don't have anything more for you than that. How's life otherwise? You got a new job starting? What's...
No, the job that I was working is remote, I guess you could say. I don't know. So in the meantime, I'm working on my education, license and doing those classes.
Okay. And that probably makes eminent sense to you and is a lot of fun, right?
Sounds fun, but it's, I feel like I'm going through like a fast track course.
Yeah. Right. But if you want to build for other people, this is what you got to do. Right. I mean, it's kind of like recovery. You don't have to accept all of it at the very beginning, but you do have to do what they tell you. And then it might make more sense toward the end. Oh, that's why I need to know this. Even though I'm never going to use this part of it, maybe I'm going to do something that touches on it. So, good. Keep that nose to the grindstone. I get word that everything else is going well. So keep it going. See you back here on February 3. Adam. Good morning. How's it going with you?
Last 30 days started out a little bit rough, but they've gotten much better.
Okay. What got better for you?
So my Christmas present from the Secretary of State was having my license revoked for a little while. I got through. And recently I've tried to make some, I guess, changes in life, in my program. I picked up a new sponsor, started going to different meetings I've never been to before. Asked Ms. Johns if I could have a sobriety for a little brother.
Wow. So what was it like going to a meeting you hadn't tried before?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was kind of nervous, as silly as it sounds. I went to
Huh?
a lot of AA meetings, just I don't know where to park, I don't know where
Which
to go to
one?
church, I don't know who I'm gonna
The
know
multiplication monster?
Right. You really need to give
do
yourself
that
credit
to
for having
me.
done that, even though sounds like you didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody probably told you to do it, right? Or suggested.
Yeah, you know the
Who was
process.
that?
My new sponsor, and then also one of the guys at DFD that I support suggested me.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is how recovery works.
Just get the divisibility
I've been
done.
talking, because let's face it, in sobriety court
They're up
world,
there.
you're an old timer. You're a short timer. You don't have a lot of time left with us, right? If things keep going well. And you still got a lot.
Lauren, spit your gum out.
And when you're done with sobriety court, you'll still have a lot to learn. But the notion, people start out, we had somebody here, their very first visit, 14 days in, and he's thinking, what the hell? Okay, I'll go up there. I hope he doesn't ask me anything too tough, but I'll just do what they're telling me. Then after you've been here
It's
a while,
right up
a lot of
top.
people get the, what they call the pink cloud feeling, which is, this is great. My life really is better. This is wonderful. Everything's great. My life is going to be like this forever. And then the work starts, and you do something different, and you feel uncomfortable about it. Why am I feeling uncomfortable? I'm recovered. Well, it turns out, no, you're not. Nobody ever is. And that sounds depressing, but it's just the truth. It gets easier, but it never gets easy. Jason Isbell. And that's what it is. So you have to do things along the way that make you feel uncomfortable to keep the work going. It's great that you went to a meeting and felt uncomfortable. It would even be okay if you went to that meeting, felt uncomfortable, went in and walked out and said, that's just not for me. Not because it made me feel uncomfortable, but because that's just not my kind of meeting, and I'm going to try a different meeting. You can go ahead and do that. But being uncomfortable, as a very wise RSS, probably 6 generations ago in sobriety court, told me once when this came up, he said, if you don't find yourself uncomfortable at a meeting every now and then, you're not going to all the right meetings. You really, if it's just a party every time you go, that's got its benefits, but getting uncomfortable is kind of like what I was talking to you about, practicing something you're not good at. Makes you uncomfortable, practicing something that you think to be a drudge makes you better at it. even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. So, good. You've got the little brother thing going on. I hope that blossoms into a sponsorship someday, that you actually, and any talk with your sponsor about you sponsoring?
So I just started working with him a week ago. Kind
Okay.
of did a nice one sit down and assessment of everything I do with my program. He thinks it's a good idea. I think it's a good.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Do all the things I wanted to do. I have a little bit more freedom here, but people are still watching pretty closely over me. So what's the difference to you?
David, wake up. And Lauren, what are you two doing? So you don't do your work? Try to figure what out? How many times do we have to go over what divisibility is? It's the numbers that are the product of when you multiply by 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's it. We've been going over it for months. I tell them to do it. They know exactly what they're doing. What do you want me to do? I'm not spoon feeding it to you. Do it.